What's up, guys? We're back for another Mythic Legions review, but this is, again, not a Mythic Legions Advent of Decay. We're going way back today to take a look at one of the very old figures from the line. We're taking a look at Sir Ignatius. So this is, I believe, one of the original wave of Mythic Legions before I really got crazy, as you know, into this line. So we've got him in the standard Mythic Legions packaging. You can see him there in the big window. We do have a bio for this guy on the side, and then the back has the standard Mythic Legions backer card art with the story write-up. So let's pull him out and take a look. All right, guys, here he is out of the package, Sir Ignatius from the original Mythic Legions lineup. An older figure, like I mentioned. We're going to take a look at all the normal stuff. This is a figure that I am very excited to take a look at because the look, the paint job, the color scheme, everything about this figure just really jumps out at me. I'm very, very interested in what this figure holds. So let's get to it, and we're going to take a look at articulation first and check out how this guy moves. So starting at the head, as usual, it is on a ball, so he can go up, he can go down, he can bobble side to side, he can rotate. The wings on his helmet, they are movable. I don't know if you really want to consider this a point of articulation, but they can be moved. They can be removed as well. Arms go out, they swivel. We do have a rotating elbow with a single jointed hinge, so about 90 degrees. Rotation at the gauntlet, rotation at the wrist, as well as a hinge. We have got a waist twist. He is one of the kind of single barrel bodied chested figures, so he doesn't have a cut in the middle. None of the original figures did that I can recall. So he can bobble side to side. He goes back, he goes forward a little bit, and then he twists. Legs go out, legs kick forward, legs kick back. There is a thigh cut up in there. We have got single jointed knees with rotation, and then we have got rotation, we've got a full rocker, and then we've got hinges down at those ankles. So it's standard stuff for the line for this particular body type of figure, but I think you can get him into just about any pose you need to for a fully suited knight, and I think he moves around really well. Now, articulation aside, this figure's look and feel is really what does it for me. The sculpt is obviously there. We've seen all of these parts time and time again, but these are among my favorite parts for your standard kind of knights in a full suit of armor type of characters. All of the layered metal work here, all of the layers on the waist guard, all of the exposed chainmail, these humongous boots and shin guards, it all really works exceptionally well, not to mention all of the finer details that's all over, from the braiding on the inside of the armpits to the inlay detail on the chest. But even more so than that, it's the color scheme here that works and how they chose to apply this paint and the shimmer and the sheen and the metallic nature of a lot of this paint, not to mention the pearlescent look of all of the white on this guy. So he very much evokes a Holy Avenger, a Holy Knight style of character, and I love everything about this design. I think it's incredibly well done. It's incredibly well thought out in terms of what colors go where, with that white being the main theme here, with these little touches of purple and varying layers of gold here and there. It just looks fantastic. It's, of course, very well done. It's a Horsemen product, so you know what to expect in terms of sculpt, not to mention the fact that, again, we've seen these parts plenty of times, so we know what to expect with the parts themselves, but you just know that the sculpt is going to be there. Tons of little fine detail with texture, tons of little details that have paint on top of them to embellish those small things that you might overlook elsewhere, like all the rivets and all the buckles, things like that. But of course, we do have a head sculpt to talk about, and this is, as I've said a few times already, one of my favorite head sculpts in the entire line. Something about this particular design just really does it for me. I love the sinister nature of this helmet, but applied to this particular body, it works really, really well. This looks, definitely like a holy knight that you would not want to rumble with. I just think he works very, very well with this head sculpt. Not to mention, again, the paint scheme on here, that gold visor that wraps around the head with the purple crest that runs from top to back. I think it's just nicely done. The colors are very well suited for this particular character. And then, of course, we do have these humongous wings, like I mentioned, that they do rotate. You can pop them out as well. So they've got plenty of detail on them. We've seen these with plenty of other figures as well. And you can, maybe switch out some other ones with other figures if you so choose, because these are, again, one of the type of modular pieces in the line. So they aren't necessarily ones you have to use. You could take them out if you wanted. But I think they really hammer home the idea of what this guy represents. And again, they've got that same Horseman quality, great sculpt, great paint applications. Now, as far as accessories goes, This guy, of course, has some pauldrons. We've already got those on there, and we have seen these a number of times in this line. They have a little slight different color change to him. He has a slightly different hue on the inlaid detail up here. It's a more bronzy type color, which actually kind of fades into some of the other gold. So it works pretty well despite being slightly different. But I think they work very well to beef him up as usual. You know, that's kind of what they're for. They make him look a little more imposing. You know, again, make him look even more so like a character you wouldn't want to mess with. We do have the strap, kind of standard accessory that we get with every figure. And then we got some actual weaponry and things like that. The original figures didn't have tons of accessories, not as many as what we get currently with like Advent of Decay and figures even beyond that later on down the line. And a lot of them were on the more basic side as well. So we've got this shield here, which has the bird crest on it, so it should be Aetheron's crest. I do have a little bit of imperfections on this one. There is a nick here and some weirdness going on over here, like almost paint bubbling on it. Since it's an older shield, these guys have clips instead of handles. But other than that, it's a pretty standard shield. We've got one of the standard swords in the line, so silver blade, but black handle on this one. And then we've got one of these standard spears. A lot of characters came with spears like this. We still get spears like this with the silver tip and then a black handle on this guy. So he has kind of a basic assortment, but that's not to be unexpected with an older figure. And it's enough to arm him, and you can always throw in other newer accessories with any figure. They've got plenty of choices at this point in the line. So overall, I went into this figure fully expecting to love it, and I have come out on the other side with my expectations fulfilled. This figure really does it for me. I think that came across when I was kind of ranting and raving about its design. I just like the way it looks. I love this particular mix of parts. I love the color scheme they chose here. He has all the articulation that we expect to find in this line. He has all the accessories that you expect to get from a figure that came out earlier in this line as well. So I don't have any gripes with anything he does or doesn't have. The only real issue that I've got with this particular figure is that he does have a few paint imperfections on that shield, but at the end of the day, I can absolutely live with that because the figure on its own is absolutely gorgeous. So that's going to do it for this look at the Mythic Legions Sir Ignatius figure. Let me know what you guys think. Feel free to like, comment, subscribe, and share, and until next time.